and welcome to Spectrum News at 12. I am Uyai Anyekan, coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran. Let's take a look at the headlines. Federal government assures Nigerians 2023 elections will hold. Federal government probes Shell oil leak on Niger pipeline. Plus, US and Japan strengthen military relationship with upgraded marine unit. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. First in our news this afternoon is a report that the federal government has sent an investigative team to probe the leakage on Shell's Trans-Niger pipeline. Shell Petroleum Development Company SDPC confirmed the leak on its Trans-Niger pipeline following an illegal connection in non-Wedweme community access in the Tai local government area of Rivers State. Reports say that this was barely 24 hours after a pipeline used by illegal refiners to steal crude oil was uncovered in the community. Recall that the chairman of Tai local government area of the state, Bakpon Okwe, had raised the alarm over illegal oil bunkering activities going on in some communities in the area. Okwe, who disclosed the illegal pipeline when he led security operatives and council officials to the scene following a tip-off, accused Shell of insensitivity after reporting the incident to the company. Away from that, the federal government has assured Nigerians that the 2023 general elections will hold across the country. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, gave the assurance at the 17th edition of President Buhari's scorecard series from 2015 to 2023. Recall that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) had earlier raised an alarm over the rising insecurity situation across the country and its impact on the 2023 general elections.
The position of the federal government remains that the 2023 elections will be held as planned. Nothing has happened to change that position. We are aware that INEC is working with the security agencies to ensure that the elections are successfully held across the country. The security agencies have also continued to assure Nigerians that they are working tirelessly to ensure that the elections are held in a peaceful atmosphere.
Still on electoral matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has released the final list of voters that will cast their ballots in the elections, with the Northwest and Southwest having the highest number of the 93.4 million eligible voters. Presenting the voter register at a meeting with leaders of political parties at the INEC headquarters in Abuja, the Commission's chairman Mahmood Yakubu said the number of registered youths are 37,060,399. According to the figures released by the Commission, the Northwest Geopolitical Zone has the highest number of registered voters with 22.2 million. The Southwest, which in 2019 had 16 million registered voters, now has 17.9 million, having added 1.6 million new registered voters. In the meantime, the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Matthew Kuka, says that no Nigerian should be undecided about the candidates to vote for in the upcoming general elections, considering the abundance of problems facing the country at present. Speaking in an interview, Bishop Kuka argued that there should be a vigorous battle among Nigerians to overcome cynicism. He advised Nigerians to lower their expectations on political choices, noting that there is no such thing as the right candidate in elections. According to him, the real challenge should be how prepared the people are to engage with the politicians after they have been elected into office. In security, the chairman of the House Committee on Capital Markets and Institutions, Babagina Ibrahim, has said the Investment and Securities Bill is capable of transforming the capital market while boosting investors' confidence. He said this while commenting on the recent passage of the bill by the House of Representatives in a statement issued by the Securities and Exchange Commission recently. Ibrahim said the bill is meant to repeal the existing Investment and Security Act of 2007 that will establish a new market infrastructure and wide-ranging system of investments, regulation, and business securities in Nigeria. In another development, the federal government has said that Universal Basic Education (UBEC) will do everything humanly possible to strengthen early childhood education in the country. In a statement made to herald the flag of the national sensitization campaign of out-of-school children across the country, the Minister of State for Education, Nana Opia, highlighted some of the factors that deny children access to early education, noting that the federal government, through the instrumentality of the Universal Basic Education, is doing everything humanly possible to assist the state on the issue of early childhood education. The UBEC Act mandates that state governments pay a mandatory 50% counterpart fund to access the yearly interventions of the federal government. Meanwhile, the World Bank Group has once again lowered its growth projection for Nigeria's economy, citing a weakened oil sector as its primary reason. This is contained in the bank's Global Economic Prospects Report publication. According to the projection, Nigeria's economy will further decelerate to 2.9% in 2023. The report further stated that despite higher oil export revenues, official reserves have fallen and the currency market is severely distorted, undermining the business environment amid investments. In the meantime, deficits by Nigerian banks have risen by 6.92 trillion naira from 36.13 trillion naira as at the end of October in 2021 to 43.5 trillion naira in the corresponding period of 2022. This was contained in the personal statement of members of the Central Bank of Nigeria Monetary Policy Committee. The Deputy Governor Financial System Stability Directorate of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN), Aisha Ahmed, said the total assets rose to 69.6 trillion naira in October of 2022 from 57.3 trillion naira in October of 2021. She said sustained implementation of the policy on credit risk management by the banks were useful in that regard, while recent initiatives of the central bank, such as the Naira redesign, were expected to enhance monetary policy transmission via the banking system. On health matters, the President, Nigerian Association of Nephrology, NAN, Dr. Adanze Esinobi, has expressed worry over the increasing number of Nigerians suffering from chronic kidney diseases. Esinobi spoke at the association's scientific conference and annual general meeting in Kano. She said the conference, with the theme Current Concepts in Acute Kidney Injury, Prevention and Management, was geared towards reducing the disease burden in the country. She further affirmed that the management of the chronic kidney disease is capital intensive, beyond the reach of the poor and the middle income earners, noting that the need for stakeholders' collaboration to reduce the burden is necessary. We move now to Africa, where a key figure Gbagbo Gude in the post-electoral violence that shook Ivory Coast in 2011 has reiterated interest in the Ivorian presidential polls. Gbagbo was acquitted by the International Criminal Court (ICC) in March of 2021 for crimes arising from the conflict. He launched his own political party named as the Pan-African Congress for Justice and Equality of the People, COJEP. However, he remains banned from standing in elections because of a 20-year jail sentence linked to the post-election bloodshed. Still in Africa, 3 aid workers and 11 civilians have been killed following attacks by gunmen in South Sudan. This is according to reports from the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, CHA. The United Nations agency said 2 of the victims were attacked by armed men, which left others dead in a village in the oil-rich Abyei administrative area. A total of 14 people, including women and children, died in the attack, which was attributed to youth from the neighboring Twig County. The disputed region, which is under UN protection, has been on the border between Sudan and South Sudan. On the foreign scene, President Joe Biden's legal team have found another batch of classified government record following the initial discovery of classified documents at his former think tank office in Washington. Reports say searches for additional documents took place after Biden's lawyers found the initial classified documents in November of 2022. The discovery of the classified documents in his former office in November set off alarm bells inside the White House, where only a small circle of advisors and lawyers were aware of the matter. Efforts are now being launched to search other locations where documents from Biden's time as vice president may have been stored. Still on the foreign scene, the United States and Japan have announced a significant strengthening of their military relationship while upgrading their military's force posture in the country. This is according to 2 U.S. officials from the U.S. Defense. They have established collaborations for the stationing of a newly redesignated Marine unit with advanced intelligence, surveillance capabilities with the ability to fire anti-ship missiles. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said during a press conference that the 12th Marine Regiment and Artillery Regiment would be redesignated as the 12th Marine Littoral Regiment for more military collaborations between the countries.
Our alliance is a cornerstone of peace, security, and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific, and the steps that we announced today will strengthen the alliance's ability to uphold the rules-based order that we are both very much committed to.
Still to come in the news. Under 20 AFCON, Egypt invites overseas-based players for F Eagles. Do stay with us.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abuse. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian police force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
he linked you with the attempted murder of Ibro.
He did not.
My lord, the matters counsel is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but we can't be talking about cases which are in court,
Is
my lord.
this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
On our business news, oil marketers have stated that the supply hitches precisely fuel scarcity associated with the disruption of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, may persist till June this year. This is according to the sole reporter of the commodity, Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, which has repeatedly complained about the enormous burden of the subsidy for the country. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timipre Sylvia, said NNPC was selling petrol at a loss because of its mandate from the federal government as regards fuel subsidy. Reacting to the development, oil marketers have stated that the fuel supply crisis in many parts of the country that often leads to fuel scarcity might persist this year. Meanwhile, the price of household kerosene, also known as cooking kerosene, has risen so far. Statistics from the Nigerian Bureau showed average retail price of kerosene per litre rose by 146% from 441 naira in November of 2021 to 1,083 naira per litre in the corresponding period last year. Meanwhile, on state profile analysis, the highest average price per litre in November of 2022 was recorded in Akwa Ibom with 1,417 naira, followed by Cross River with 1,367 naira and Abuja with 1,307 naira. In health, the Minister of Health, Osage Hanire, has stated plans by the federal government to establish 100 oxygen generation plants across the country to ensure oxygen sufficiency. He said this in Abuja during the 17th edition of President Buhari's Administration Scorecard Series. According to Hanire, before the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, there were less than 30 functional oxygen plants in the country, with the pandemic giving rise to the need for oxygen sufficiency. He disclosed that many responses will be made to include the activation of old moribund oxygen plants and the establishment of new ones, as well as the setting up and revamping of facilities that were not existent before, such as isolation centers and treatment facilities across the country for different diseases. In the meantime, the Director General, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Moji Adeyeye, has sought a regulatory system for effective quality therapeutic medicine and vaccines in low and medium income countries. The DG made the call in a statement issued and signed by the agency's resident media consultant, Olusayo Akintola, in Abuja. Adeyeye said that only a strong regulatory system would guarantee and accelerate the development, approval, and access to safe and effective quality therapeutic medicine and vaccines in low to medium income countries of the world. According to her, the World Health Organization supports member states in reaching and sustaining effective regulatory oversight of medical products through the Regulatory System Strengthening (RSS) program. In sports, British star Jack Draper will be playing in the Australian Open first round with Andy Murray, who will be handed a difficult draw. Murray faces 13th seed Matteo Berrettini, while Novak Djokovic makes his Melbourne return against Spain's Roberto Carbal's Baena also. Emma Ricciardo, who has been struggling with an ankle injury, has been drawn against Germany's Tamara Cox-Page. The Australian Open, which is the first Grand Slam tournament of the new season, will be taking place at the Melbourne Park between the 16th and the 29th of January. Still in sports, Egypt under-20 national team coach Mahmoud Garba has made calls for 4 foreign-based players to bolster his squad ahead of next month's Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations. The 2023 Under-20 AFCON tournament will be played in Egypt between February 19th and March 11, with the top 4 teams qualifying for the Under-20 World Cup in Indonesia in May. The Young Pharaohs, who are drawn alongside Senegal, Nigeria and Mozambique in Group A, will be aiming to lift their first continental title. On our entertainment news, President Muhammadu Buhari has sent condolences to the family of the former founder and chief executive officer of the African Movie Academy Awards, AMA, Peace Osigwe. In a comment reflected through the awards platform, President Buhari commended the contributions of the industrious and creative artist and administrator on the growth of the film industry in Nigeria. He said he believes the institutions Osigwe has so far built will be for the discovery and promotion of African talents that will further project her legacies. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum TV News at 12. I am Uyai Anyek, and thanks for watching, and do enjoy the rest of your day.